everybody, and welcome to episode 76 of the Video Games Ahoy podcast.
76 trombones, said the marching band. That's not the words.
I'm your host, Jonathan Radford, and that over there is Zac Hamilton, ladies and gentlemen. Woo!
Hello. It's just us.
It is just me
What's
and you.
What's happening, man? We never do this. When was the last time we had just the Jonny and Zac show?
I think it was about 50 episodes ago.
Wow.
50
That's crazy.
long episodes.
And it definitely wasn't live.
No, it wouldn't have been live. No, exactly.
Yeah.
I don't think we've done one done live. So we're both very chill right now.
Yeah, this is kind of nice. We just get to take it all in, and like we've just been catching up about. My camera's gone nuts. We've just been catching up on like the Halo stuff.
Yeah,
which is kind of cool. I have not been following it. Anyway, sorry, Johnny. You've got things to say before we get into the news.
I enjoyed that little, that little avenue,
little segue.
Little drive down that street that you went there. I really enjoyed that. But yeah, we'll chat about the podcast. We have Video Games Ahoy. You can find us on YouTube and Spotify and Amazon Prime Music, whatever that's called, and Deezer.
Deezer's the big one, isn't it? Isn't that the one we...
Apparently Deezer is actually bigger than... we jest often, but it's actually quite big. I was quite shocked by that, because it's part of that big... Yeah. Is it DZN or something like that? Like, there's the big company, like, I don't know.
Oh, no, I was going to say, isn't Deezer the one that everyone listens to this on, though?
iHeartRadio.
Oh, iHeartRadio, that's right. That's so awesome. I love that that's the one.
And, I really enjoy that. I really enjoy that we get our love vibes from iHeartRadio. So if you do listen to us on iHeartRadio, then we heart you. Yeah. We've made that joke like 4 billion times. I don't care.
Have we really?
Yeah,
whatever. Who cares?
I mean, Dav came up with it, and I'm totally stealing it.
Yeah. He's not here.
He's not here. He's not here. He's not here, though. Dav Weeks, this is something I should say. Dav Weeks was supposed to be here, but sadly, he is not well. So we are just going to say that we love you, Dav Weeks.
Yeah, man.
If you're
better, buddy.
We just want you to get better. Dav Cape, if you were listening, how you doing? That's what I say. All right, let's talk about the news.
What's been happening this week? It's the news with Jonny, Zac, and Daffy G.
About 58 minutes ago, we had the Game of the Year nomination announcements, I should say. Zac, should I just run through them?
Yeah, I was actually just going to bring them up so that I could pretend like I knew what I was talking about.
Okay.
I don't. So you just tell me. Tell me what's happening.
Okay. So, should I start from the bottom and then make my way up to the top?
Yeah. Let's go that way.
Build up the tempo of the conversation. So we start off with Best Ongoing Game. Apex Legends, Call of Duty Warzone, Final Fantasy XIV Online, Fortnite, and Genshin Impact. There's only one of those games I've played, Apex Legends, and I have hilarious memories of me and Zac trying to kill Dav Gape and failing. I
was just thinking about
miserably.
that. Yeah. I was thinking about that when I realised that Dav isn't here today to rein us in. That's the exact same experience.
Yeah. We could just lie. We could just flat out lie. Yeah, we beat him. We beat Dav. Dav definitely didn't beat me and Zac together when he had a pistol and we had all the weapons. That definitely did not.
That definitely didn't happen.
Definitely did not. But yeah, those are the best ongoing games. Zac, I'm going to ask you at the end of every round who you think's going to win. Apex Legends, Call of Duty Warzone, Final Fantasy XIV, Fortnite, or Genshin Impact?
There's a lot of similar... I don't know. I think it would probably go to like either COD or Genshin Impact. I feel like Fortnite's not going to get it because it's like too much kind of like...
Yeah.
Like people, no one wants to be like, no one wants to admit that they like Fortnite, even if it's fun, which it is.
Totally.
I think Apex has probably had its chance. It's been going for long enough now. Whereas Warzone's a little bit more recent. Genshin Impact's much more recent than that. Is that right?
Yeah, and Final Fantasy XIV is a weird one because I think it just celebrated its 10-year anniversary. But the difference is that the game that came out is not the same as the game that it is now. It massively altered in a good way.
I don't hear people talking about Final Fantasy XIV very much.
It's definitely one of those like niche. Well, I say niche compared to the others, like because the others are pretty much all the same game essentially. Genshipped, I guess.
From Genshin, yeah.
I just called it Genship. It's Genshin. But yeah, okay. Instead of telling me who you think's going to win, tell me who you want to win.
Do you know what? I want it to be. No, I was gonna say I want it to be Fortnite because that's the only one that I've really ever got into. But that's kind of shill behavior. So I think maybe like Genshin kind of sounds quite cool, and I haven't played it, so I feel like I kind of want that to win. And do you know what? If Genshin wins, I will sit down and I will get into it.
There we go.
Pledge
Zac Hamilton's pledge. If Genshin Impact wins, the impact it will have on him is that he will play it.
Because I've been kind of meaning to have a go of it, and I just have never really got around to it.
Let's move on to best multiplayer games. Back 4 Blood. Back 4 Blood. It Takes Two. That's the word two, so I'm not going to say it like that. Knockout City, Monster Hunter Rise, New World, and Valheim. I've only played one of those games, but I hear good things about the others. I think Monster Hunter Rise is going to take that.
Have you not played It Takes Two with Rosie?
No, we are gonna play it. That is because it's just come out on Game Pass.
Come out on Game Pass. We're gonna. I haven't told Bronwyn, she's in the room, but I'm gonna make her play that.
Oh, and I think she'll love it as well.
She's given me a big thumbs up. She's well into that.
Great, I love it. So are we both? Well, actually, yeah, of course. It Takes Two versus Monster Hunter Rise. That's like ooh.
Do you know what the other thing is though? I've really been enjoying. I've been really enjoying Back 4 Blood. There's no way Back 4 Blood wins because of the mixed reviews.
It's very mixed.
I've very much enjoyed it, and I would give it that just because it was a fun little trip down memory lane.
It's the Zac Hamilton nominations, I guess. So
exactly.
Let's skip to best score, best music. Cyberpunk. Can't really argue with that because the music was really good. Deathloop, again, music is so good in that game.
Nier
Replicant, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, which apparently has a banging soundtrack, which is just loads of 80s tunes. Can't beat that. And The Artful Escape, which I have not played.
No, I've not played it either.
Of that list, I think Deathloop for me.
Yeah, Deathloop is pretty cool. Like, it's got a lot of. It felt very fresh to me for a score.
Yeah.
I don't know about you. Did you have any did you think about the score when you were playing it?
Deathloop, I couldn't stop. I literally couldn't stop singing it. Like there's
awesome.
like loads of like just I get earworms all the time. And Rosie was singing some of the songs as well, just humming some of the music. It's some of it is so catchy. It's so great.
Yeah.
So great. Best art direction: Deathloop, Kena Bridge of Spirits, Psychonauts 2, Ratchet and Clank, The Artful Escape.
I haven't played any of these.
Psychonauts 2 is. Oh, I don't know. That's a really competitive little group there. I think so. I actually never finished Psychonauts 2. I feel bad for saying that, but I never finished it. But I do think the art direction is gorgeous, and it probably is the best of the ones I played on that list. But
I saw Ratchet and Clank looked very nice from what I saw of it.
It did look very nice.
I have to say I haven't played any of them, so I can't have an opinion on that.
Best independent game, you have definitely played one of these, Zach. 12 Minutes, Death's Door, Kena Bridge of Spirits, Inscription, and Loop Hero. I've heard so many good things about Death's Door, like to the point where people think that it's like a great Zelda clone. And
it's called Death's Door.
Death's Door, yeah. I think you'll get a kick out of it, so definitely try and check it out because I think you'll really enjoy it.
I feel like we haven't talked about this yet.
I think we mentioned it like in passing a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, you know what? No, I have seen this. This does look very cool.
Yeah, it looks really cool, and it's coming on Switch. I think it's either coming out or it is out. I just haven't had a chance to buy it yet, but I definitely want to.
This looks like a very Switch friendly game.
Okay, let's move on to best narrative: Deathloop, It Takes Two, Life is Strange, True Colors, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, and Psychonauts 2. All of those games is Deathloop for me. I mean, purely just because of how hard it is to write a game that loops a million times.
Yeah, I agree with that. And it's like on quite a broad. It's got a big scope, you know what I mean? Because 12 Minutes obviously does the same thing, but it's so pared down. It's a really small game, which I don't think is, it's an independent game. I'm not against that by any stretch, but it's quite a different thing to be making a AAA game with that kind of combat and that kind of gameplay loop, as it were. and then still have a really solid plot. I agree with that.
I love Deathloop. It was so good. Best game direction: Deathloop, It Takes Two, Returnal, Psychonauts 2, and Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart.
What was this category?
Best game direction. I've only played 2 of those games. So I guess of the 2 that I played, Deathloop again would get it for me personally. But yeah, that's it. The thing I keep noticing, because I'll go on to the last category, it's the game which is Game of the Year. Like, it just, all of these categories are so close. Like, I genuinely don't know what is going to win. Normally there's like 1 game or 2 games you're like, well, it's going to be that one or that one against that one. Where it's like, Game of the Year, Deathloop, It Takes Two, Metroid Dread, Psychonauts 2, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, Resident Evil Village. I don't know what's going to win. I wouldn't even know what to bet my money on, because like any one of those could win and I'd be like, meh.
I want to have a look at the nominations from last year.
It was
Best Game 2020.
Final Fantasy VII Remake. It was Doom Eternal. It was
Last of Us
Hades,
2.
Last of Us 2, and Animal Crossing, I think.
What was the there was another game that you guys all played and I didn't play it. It was about like feudal Japan, right?
Ghost of Tsushima.
Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah. Oh yeah, of course that was nominated. Yeah, I played that this year, so I just assumed it was this year. Crazy.
Yeah.
I just realised Assassin's Creed Valhalla didn't get nominated for anything. That's also another thing.
Yeah. I'm thrilled about that, because I've played a little bit of Valhalla and you enjoyed it. Am I right?
I enjoyed it I enjoyed it until I hated it, which was about halfway through the game, when I was just like, this game is so overly long and every mission is exactly the same as the last one. Go here, do this. Go here, do this. Like, it got boring very quickly.
I really didn't. I haven't played very much of it, but I really didn't like it. I just found it really like kind of bleak. I found it kind of depressing doing things like that. It felt like so procedural and just like clinical. Like, do this now, do this. Shut up! It's Assassin's Creed. I just really, really didn't enjoy it. So I'm actually glad it hasn't made it for any nominations.
And also, it's really interesting as well, because I haven't played Assassin's Creed since Black Flag. So like, I know before Valhalla, so I know I was a long way out of that game series, but I really hated the combat. I really hated the fact that like before you used to feel like an assassin where you'd be quick and like that. I guess that stereotype of what you think it is from the early games where the combat was so cool, you dodge and all those kinds of things, but like it didn't feel that fluid, and it just felt like an action game, which is fine, but it didn't like you. It just felt like there was no point. The assassin's bit could have been taken away. It would have been fine. In fact, that game probably would have got a better response because of it. But
completely, it's become very general. It's become very like. Totally. Just it's got the Ubisoft syndrome, you know. Anyway, whatever. Let's move on.
Yeah, that's it, man. I'm just going to talk about 2 Microsoft stories, and because yesterday Microsoft announced that Halo Infinite's free-to-play multiplayer mode would be released yesterday, and it was released yesterday.
Crazy.
There was a slight issue which I encountered, but it didn't take much to fix, and apparently it's not an issue now. But I downloaded the holding page like a couple of weeks ago for the multiplayer, and the game wouldn't load, so I had to delete that and then re-download the game, and it worked perfectly fine.
Right.
I played it for 5 minutes earlier, got my butt whooped, and didn't play again because I've been really busy, but it feels really good, and I am really excited. I don't know what happened here. Something's happening. Oh my goodness.
Whoa. Chicken Patty? 11 months?
ACP!
That's crazy.
That's amazing.
I've just written I've written how I feel about it.
That's really nice.
That's so nice of you. Thank you very much, ACP. Thank you for...
Nothing's actually come up on my screen. All I'm hearing is, there we go. Yeah, I don't know why it's gone off twice. Oh no, it's not stopping. Hey! It's not stopping.
Hey, you guys.
Okay, what we'll do is, if it doesn't stop again, I'll turn it off. It's good. We're good. Hey, CP, how you doing? It's just me and Zach today. But yeah, what I was saying is that Halo Infinite feels really good. I'm really excited to play it with you guys. It feels like a game that, more than anything, I just want to play with my pals. And
that's actually excited. The first thing I just thought when we were talking about it before. I was like, I can't wait to sit down and play this. Like, I'll definitely will play online with other people, like with strangers and stuff. But I'm actually really excited to sit down and play a good old fashioned Halo game with some close friends. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Pals. Yeah, games with pals. Yeah, game pals. That's me taking game pals. Game pals.
I thought you were doing like a Game Boy thing, but worse.
No. But that was worse. Yours was better. Mine was way worse.
No.
Game pals. Anyway, Microsoft also announced that over 70 Xbox 360 and original Xbox games were going to be added to the backwards compatibility library for the Xbox Series X and S and the Xbox One, which is just really cool. Honestly, one of my favorite things about it, like, I'll be honest, when it comes to buying any old game, I don't even look on my PlayStation anymore, because other than a few games that they have, which Xbox doesn't because they're exclusive, Xbox has games from the 360 and further back era, which is just crazy. Like, and PlayStation just isn't. They're shit. They're shit.
Yeah, they've shit the bed, really. And it's a waste, because, like, what's actually just going to end up happening is you're going to go on eBay and buy it for, like, however much from someone who has no affiliation with the PlayStation. So
the only way to play Red Dead Redemption on the PS5 is to download PS Now, which has terrible server issues. Whereas on the Series X, I can just buy a 360 copy and play it with up-resed visuals and other things, which is what I did, and I was playing it for a long time. I don't know why I stopped. I think other games came out, and I just wanted to touch it anyway. But it was still good, really good, and this is good. This is just good. I don't have any issues or complaints. Now, Zach, now we're going to get into the meatiest story of the section, and this is probably I don't know how much you've seen of this, but and I will talk about it a bit later on in depth, because it's a game I've been playing. But I'll just get into it. So VGC's Andy Robertson has written about Grand Theft Auto: The Trilogy Definitive Edition's chaotic launch, which but on the weekend, Rockstar confirmed that they pulled the PC version because it unintentionally included game files that included unlicensed music, full game scripts with developer notes, which is really funny, by the way, and even the San Andreas sex minigame, Hot Coffee. It was in there. It was in there. Like,
wait, but when you say it's in there, do you mean like people could find it in there, or like it was just something that you could do?
So basically the PC gamers had pretty much like found that it was still in the game. Like, it was not, you couldn't use it, but like if it was still in the game, it might not have taken them that long to just get it to work, because we don't know how functional it was, but it was still there. The files were still there, and it's still, in theory, the code was there. So I guess they could have got it to work with a little bit of work, and I just think that's hilarious. I can't, like, I'll get into this later, because like it's been a shambles. The whole thing's been a shambles for a game that's for 3 games that are 2 decades old. It's more embarrassing to me than Cyberpunk, like, because at least Cyberpunk was supposed to be like a next gen game. Like, I just we'll talk about, like I said, we'll talk about it a bit later on. But yeah, it's been an embarrassing week.
Yeah, it's not good. Jeez.
Yeah, I'll talk about how it runs later on. But I'll just say that I'm playing on the Series X and it's fine. But don't play it on the Switch because it runs badly. I think it's got like a 0.2 out of 10 rating currently on Metacritic from fans, which is one of the lowest scores I've ever seen. I think it might be the lowest score ever. And finally, we got a little bit of good news from Metroid. Zach, and I think you might enjoy this. So the NPD Group's Matt Piscatella confirmed last week that Dread debuted as October's 3rd best-selling game in the US and the best-selling game on Switch. Piscatella also said, because of that, Metroid Dread achieved the highest launch month sale of any Metroid franchise release in tracked history, and that its launch month physical dollar sale nearly doubled those of the previous franchise best, Metroid Prime. Metroid Prime sold 3 million copies, so the fact that it's doubled the best month that Metroid Prime did, already. I mean, that's incredible.
That is amazing.
This follows on from the impressive UK launch too, where it had the strongest opening weekend the franchise has ever seen, and it also achieved a debut #1 on Nintendo's home country, Japan, where it doesn't normally do that well. So I think we could be... I mean, I'm pretty convinced at this point that Dread's going to be the best-selling Metroid game, and I think that's awesome. I want more Metroid games.
Yeah, I agree, and I'm really pleased that it's a side-scrolling Metroid, because I have personally never had very much... I've had a go of the Prime games when I was young, and again when I was a grown-up, and I've never had much taste for it. I think something doesn't connect for me in the Metroidvania first-person format, in the way that, certainly not in the way that it does with the side-scrolling, and I wondered whether the side-scrolling version, that maybe it was just out of fashion for a while. I guess, with the advent of like a lot more independent Metroidvania stuff like Hollow Knight, and then the procedural generated stuff. I guess there's been a bit of an upturn in the way people view that sort of game.
Yeah.
Can you remind me how much it went for? How much it's being sold for? On the
£50.
£50, yeah.
£50. So, I mean,
that's really...
Yeah.
That's really something for that scale of game, like for that to be selling as well as it is. Do you know how it's done in Japan?
Well, it's got the debut #1. I don't know I haven't got the numbers in front of me, but apparently it's done really well. I know that in America, in the USA, I should say, because that is specific to what we're talking about. I know they did 800,000 units in America for October.
Wow.
But that's just America. You add in Europe, which could be maybe half, and it's definitely done over 1 million sales in a month.
Amazing.
And we Christmas is coming. There'll be a lot of people.
Yeah.
There'll be a lot of parents maybe, or people who just be like, oh, just get it for me for Christmas. I can wait for Christmas. So I don't know. I fully expect it to break Prime sales record, which is about 3. I think it's like 3 million. But I'm just really happy.
Amazing. That's great news.
I'm really happy because I mean, as you know, like I played Fusion recently to get into it, and I've suddenly become like a huge Metroid fan. So I'm really, really, really excited about what the future brings. Zac, that's the end of the news, man. We have run out of news topics. Do you have anything you want to talk about game-wise before I talk about... I rant a little about GTA?
Yeah.
One sec. This is where I'm going to insert Dav Gape's jingle from last week. Or was it your jingle? It was your jingle.
No, I did the quiz jingle. Dav did the games we've been playing.
Jingle.
Oh no, was it the other way around? I don't remember.
Jingle right here.
It's the games we've been playing. It's the games we've been playing. Games we've been playing.
We're back. Hey.
Yay.
That'll work better when you listen to the podcast. Anyway, Zac, what games have you played?
So I've been having a go of some old N64 games. I've been playing a few, but I've been kind of dipping in and out because I find I start playing, and then something annoys me too much for me to keep playing.
That's amazing.
I was playing. I think last week I was talking about Star Fox 64, Lilac Wings, Lilac Wars, which I was really enjoying. I finished playing with that, partly out of frustration, but now I've moved on to... I started playing Silicon Valley, Space Station Silicon Valley. Do you remember that game?
Yeah, Rockstar. That's DMX design. That's Rockstar.
Really?
Yeah,
that's funny.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Like, there was... I remember listening to someone describe that as like a prototype Grand Theft Auto before they started making Grand Theft Auto open world. Because in many ways, if you think about it, you are a little thing that goes into, like, takes over other things and drives around.
Yeah. Oh, well, for anyone who doesn't know this, that's the whole premise. It's like all these little robotic animals, and you have to like solve puzzles by controlling different ones. So there's like, what are the cooler ones? Like there's like
you can do a sheep.
Yeah, but so there's like basic ones like sheep and dogs and stuff, and there's ones like where it's like a turtle that's actually also kind of a tank.
Also,
and it's really fun. It's a really creative idea. It's a lot of cool stuff.
I called it DMX, and it's DMA. So I apologize.
Yeah,
it's DMA design.
I went with you on it.
Yeah,
I wouldn't worry too much.
But yeah, man, I loved that game as a kid.
It's a lot of fun. It's frustrating now because the camera is a bit not very nice, and the controls are a bit jank. So I kind of got fed up with that eventually, and I was just kind of like, all right, I've had enough of this. But it was a really, really fun time. I got probably about halfway through it, and maybe I'll go back to it eventually. I was also playing Pokemon Stadium 1 and 2.
Nice.
which
business?
I was in business. Right, and then yeah, and
there might be people or person wondering what the hell that means. It's a very long story. Me and Dav Weeks playing Pokemon Stadium, but with the trying to use the I guess the attacks.
Yeah, trying to pick the Pokemon who would be the best in a business.
Yeah, be the best businessmen and women, I guess, and then using their attacks as a way to charm. Use the charm offensive, I think was that what we were.
Meanwhile, I was watching at home, screaming
yeah,
at
rage.
the tactics involved. Yeah, and anyway, so I played a little bit of Pokemon Stadium 1 and 2. I kind of got a bit bored of the first and second generation mechanics because it's whatever. I'm not a great fan of that. And then what was the last one I was playing? Was that it? I think that might have been it, actually. I think that might have been all I did with the N64. I was going to have another go at Majora's Mask, and then I was like, I don't know if I have the strength to throw myself into a big adventure like that. Yeah, so I'm probably going to play a little bit of GameCube this week,
nice.
I think. And I'll do a little recap on some of the stuff I've been playing then.
You have a Dreamcast, right?
I do have a Dreamcast.
I would genuinely really love to watch you play like some of your Dreamcast games, just because I think that would be a laugh.
I would really like to. It's I'm not sure if my capture card will allow me to do it without an adapter, because it does. It's not even like a 3-piece SCART. It's like
really?
One of those old the little like N64 like.
Oh yeah.
I can't remember what they're called.
You could probably pick up a converter.
There's probably a converter, right?
Somewhere.
I would really like to do that. I would love to do some streaming of some of like the arcade games that they put on there, and like. Maybe I'd play Shenmue again because I just love that game so much. Anyway, that'll come one day soon. Right, talk to me about GTA.
So this is going to be a weird rant. This is going to be more about what other people are experiencing rather than myself, because this feels very similar to what happened with Cyberpunk, in that I'm playing GTA San Andreas on the. Actually, do you know what? I'm gonna start this by saying that I got really nervous about buying the game because I was going to buy it on Switch day one. I got really nervous about the game because there was no reviews and there was no video footage of people playing the game until the day it came out. And after Cyberpunk, which is exactly what happened with Cyberpunk, I genuinely got really nervous. I genuinely was just like, I don't trust it. I've become very untrustworthy of that process. If a company does that, I'm just like, I don't trust it at all. And it seems like it was right, sadly. Like, I was reading something today about what they've done, and like, it sounds like they've tried to, it sounds like, to really break it down, it sounds like an incredibly lazy port. Like, incredibly lazy, to the point where, like, I'm shocked at some of the stuff that I've read about it. Like, they used like and I guess an up-resing thing where like they'd round out all of the straight lines on characters and designs and stuff like that, but they just use that everywhere. So like there's certain which is why like things look so weird. Like instead, like it can be angular. Like some things are angular, some things have lines. But they did it everywhere. And not only is it that they do it everywhere, but apparently it's really taxing. So like it becomes really hard to run. So it just sounds like really badly optimized and really badly like I don't understand. What it seems like to me is that GTA 5 got pushed into next year, the next gen version. So they were just like, we need something out this year. It's either that, which is kind of disgusting anyway, but also it's just kind of like they knew what happened with Cyberpunk at the start of this year and they still did it.
Yeah.
Like, the response, like, again, I'm playing it on the Series X, and by apparently it's the best way to play it because it runs, like, the hardware means that it can run pretty smoothly. The fact that there's options performance mode or graphical mode for a game that's 20 years old is pretty stupid, if I'm being completely honest. Like, it does seem really weird to me because Nintendo gets such, like, Nintendo people complain about them all the time, and often rightly so. But like I've played 3 of their remakes recently: Xenoblade Chronicles, Skyward Sword, and what was the other one? I can't remember. But I'll just reference those 2 because those 2, like, fine. The amount of work they did, I was really happy with both of them, and I played.
Yeah.
And I played the original Skyward Sword. They did quite a lot to it, but honestly, man, like, have you seen it? Have you seen any of the clips from GTA?
I haven't. I'm actually just going to bring some up now because I'm kind of interested to see. Like, literally, the first thing I just looked up GTA Trilogy. The first thing that comes up is do not buy this game.
Yeah, literally.
It's mental.
It's crazy. Like, and maybe I'll, like, I think if they can patch it, it can be patched. It's going to take a lot of work, but like,
It's a bit exhausting though, isn't it? When we're just constantly in this situation where it's like, all right, this game's going to come out, and then we're gonna wait for it to patch.
Yeah.
Like.
For a company as big and as rich as Rockstar as well, isn't it?
I'm glad that we can do that now. I'm glad that that you can fix a game like in post. I'm glad that's an option, but like, you can't use that as your baseline of how you expect to release a game. Like that's just not the crack, is it?
Like it shouldn't have to be used. Like if it's used, like with Returnal, for instance, Returnal added a mode in because people found it too difficult, and I actually appreciate that. They were just like, okay, we listened to our fans and we added this mode in so like you can use it to save and stuff. But the fact that like Rockstar haven't said anything, I don't think, at this moment in time, but like it does make me worry a little bit about just the industry in general when this becomes more and more the norm. I thought Cyberpunk was going to be like, shit, we can't do this, but yeah, this is worse for me. This is worse.
I have a question. Do you think that it's a case of this happens because it happens? So like this is happening because other companies are doing it and then therefore Rockstar and other companies have to do it in order to keep up? Or do you think it really is just lazy cutting corners?
I don't know. I think the thing is, I hate saying like, because like I think it's a lazy port. Like, I don't think the developers are lazy because they would have been told to do this.
Yeah, completely. And like,
it still would have taken work.
The people who are working in the industry are like gonna be pretty good because I'm sure it's a very competitive field.
Yeah, and but it just frustrates. Like, I think really, I think cutting corners is probably the best way to describe it. That's what it seems like they've done. They could have made this into something really like celebratory of the 3 games. I have been playing San Andreas, and I'll be honest, I've been having a really fun time because the game runs. The game runs fine. I've been having a fun time. It is kind of weird when like you see the graphics and they're a little bit better, and then you hear the sound and the audio hasn't been improved in 20 years, and that's one thing you really truly realize what has improved. People often think like, oh yeah, graphically it's improved, but they sometimes forget. I sometimes forget how much audio has improved.
Yeah.
And like when you hear it, it often has that like sort of like there's like a distortion to the vocal lines, and it's just not there now. Whereas back then it was there all the time. But yeah, I am enjoying it weirdly.
I think the thing I always notice when playing all games is the quality of life stuff that's changed. Like, there's so many things that you would never ever design that were just like standard practice. Like that's just the way it is. You would never do it that way because it's obnoxious or difficult or like just cumbersome, and it means that you can streamline. But yeah, it's really, really interesting to hear you talk about it. I'm having a look at footage of it now. Honestly, and I can see it's kind of amazing.
It's crazy as well because someone did a comparison between the PS Vita and the Nintendo Switch, and apparently the PS Vita runs it better. And I want it on the Switch.
Really?
Like, I want to play like the thing is, I want to play those games. I like those games. Those games are games. I shouldn't say it really, but they're from my childhood. I should have been 18, but still, my brothers were there. That's fine. But like, do you know what I mean? It's like they had an opportunity to just make them better, but they kind of. I just feel like they've kind of lied. Very much how we've been cyberpunked again.
Yeah, again.
But yeah, otherwise I am genuinely enjoying the game, and that feels like a weird way to like wrap up games I've been playing because I'm enjoying the game that so many people have complained about. Zach, would you like one question from the quiz?
Oh my god, please! Okay. Can we do just?
Just do the quiz.
I was actually going to ask you if you would do a guess that Kazoon, just for fun.
I don't.
But no, give us the question. Give us the question.
Do you know what? I will hold back from doing guess that Kazoon. Play that Kazoon because often that is one of the hardest questions to do because I have to remember the tune. And so often it's just like, okay. Okay, let me find you a question. Let me find you a good one. Okay, here we go. I'll give you a don't quote me on it, okay?
Oh man, I'm rubbish. These are the ones I'm the worst at.
A famous explorer once said that the extraordinary is in what we do, not who we are.
What?
Is it Prince of Persia, Tomb Raider, or Uncharted?
I was gonna say that was the last speech in the Pokemon movie that Mewtwo has. You know the one I mean?
That's what Mewtwo says to Ash.
Yeah.
Yeah, a famous explorer once said the extraordinary is not what we do, who we are, and then flew away.
Yeah, that's exactly what happens. That could be any of those, because those are all very... I'm going to say that's Prince of Persia.
It is not Prince of Persia.
Damn it.
If you'd have said Uncharted, right, you'd also have been wrong. It's Tomb Raider.
Wow, it's Tomb Raider.
ACB got it in one.
I love that. It could be any. That's literally what I thought. It could have been any of those.
That's what I do. That's what you
like to do.
I like to fool you. I like to fool you. But I think that's it. I think we're gonna have to call it. Nice short episode this week.
Yeah, very short.
How long did we go for? 38 minutes. So you've had us for about 38 minutes. We can ramble on for another 2 minutes. I guess we can just talk about the end of the podcast, and then we'll go. That is the end of podcast number 76, though. Zach, 76.
76, bro. 76 trombones.
76. Can you do the song again?
76 trombones hit the big parade. Na 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 na. Don't know the words.
Amazing. I might use that as the intro.
Yeah, please.
Thank you for listening today. We have been silly, but we've enjoyed it. And we're also on Twitter, we're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, we're on Patreon. Is it like a tree system? Is it like trickle down Patreonics? Maybe not. That's just bullshit.
We have a Discord as well.
We do have a Discord, and it's in the chat.
I'm actually going to go on the Discord now. I'm going to go and see what I've missed.
Yeah, just me, unfortunately, not telling ACP and others that there was nothing on yesterday and that we were recording today.
Fool!
I know, I completely forgot, and I this is my heartfelt apology to right now, ACP. I am sorry. If it helps, I will request Zac sings 76 trombones.
76 trombones. Alright, I'm done.
That's it. We're done. Thanks, Zac. It's been lovely.
Yeah, man.
See you all next week.
See you next week, buddy.
Bye-bye. Bye, everyone. Ahoy.
Goodbye.